Welcome back to another episode, and today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna take all this stuff and cram it in this. Yes, this is a pretty big case. It's a full ATX case, and we're gonna take a small form factor computer and pretty much just switch everything over. Now, if you're looking for the right Optiplex build to make a PC gaming machine, this isn't the video. I forget the guy's name, but he really knows his Optiplex. We're going to take the Optiplex that a lot of people probably don't look for because it's on the older side. These Optiplexes have to have positives going for them. If not, you'll be stuck with a 250 watt power supply. You'll be stuck having to use the case itself. So far, on the older side, this Optiplex has a 24 pin power. It's got no special connections for the CPU. So this Optiplex has an i5-2320. It's Sandy Bridge. It's on the 32 nanometer architecture, LGA 1155 socket, but that doesn't mean you could put any CPU in here. Make sure the things that you're gonna buy for it, if you go a route like this, will even work. Or just go straight to the Dell website or go on some forums. A lot of people have built these into gaming PCs. When I remember the guy's name that I talked about that does the Optiplex builds, I really do enjoy his videos. We'll have it here somewhere for you guys, and I'll see if I can get you a link down in the description. I will have links for a lot of the stuff here down in the description, take you straight to Amazon. If you decide to use our links to purchase anything off of Amazon, we do get a small commission, so just give you guys a heads up on that. So we're gonna pick a graphics card, throw it in here, and see how well of a gaming machine we could build him using older parts. Older graphics cards, a lot of them are really dirt cheap, and some of them are decent. We're shooting for 1080, 60 frames. If we could hit that with medium graphics, medium settings, doing great. Mind you, everything you see here, well, the pieces that we have for this computer we're in maybe about 150 bucks. We're gonna do our best to make it a cool looking and a good running PC. So let's skip all the rest of that and all my mumbling and rambling on, and let me tell you what you're going to need to take everything out of here and put it into here. He likes the case. I know it's a gigantic case, but I got the case for like, I don't remember, like 20 bucks, 15 bucks. And thanks to the guy out there, he also gave me a graphics card, I think for another 15 bucks too. So again, thank you, bro. If your PC that you're gonna be gutting, the Optiplex, has a 24 pin power connection, you're gonna need a power supply. Now, if you notice on the table, a lot of old stuff here. There's only two things on this entire table that are brand spanking new: the power supply and the hard drive that's gonna have the OS put on it. These are the two things I recommend you buy brand new, because you don't want an old power supply. If it goes, it'll take your whole system with it. Your motherboard will get fried, the whole 9 yards. So get brand new. They're not that expensive. I think the 500 watt one here was like 60 bucks. Like I said, down in the description, there'll be links to all this stuff. This is a inland SSD. It's 120 gigabyte SSD. They're 25 bucks right now at Micro Center. It's not a bad SSD. I have their NVMEs, the 3.0s in my computer. I like the Inland brand. And remember, these are two things that will definitely move forward. So if we decide to take all this stuff out in the future and get him new components and build him a newer PC once everything starts to equal out again one day, these things will definitely 110% move over to that new system. Had these ones laying around, they're older, but they are 7200 RPM. They're small drives, not in size, but I think they're only 250 gig. Yeah, they're both 250 gig a piece. So that's 500 gig right there, plus another 120. It's okay for now. You're gonna need some type of cooling solution. 9 times out of 10 with these Optiplexes, if not 10 out of 10, the cooling solution is made for the case. So you're gonna need some type of other cooling solution. Tower style cooler, AIO, that's pretty much what we have in this one right now. We're using the M22 Kraken. It mounts right up to the motherboard, right? It's perfect, it works excellently. Also, you're gonna need thermal paste. You're gonna need some RAM. These older computers run on DDR3. Go straight to the manufacturer's website and make sure what RAM you need that's compatible with your CPU and motherboard. We have 3 sets here. Some are 1 gig sticks, some are 2 gig sticks. I think they're high necks. You're going to need some zip ties because you're going to be putting everything into the new case. So now we can actually do some wire management, which is non-existent in these older cases. Also, I still have some cables left from my computer, some Cable Mod Blood Red extensions. Gonna need some SATA cables for the hard drives, some type of Wi-Fi card or Wi-Fi adapter. These, I don't remember how much they are. It just plugs in via the USB, internet right there, done. Metal tray for all the screws you're gonna be taking out. A red, black, blue, whatever color dry erase marker is very cool to have, because as you're doing things and you're putting screws and bolts in here, you can literally just make a circle, put here BP for back plate, and you put the screws right there and you know where they go, unless you have a cool mod mat that you just literally place it wherever you want. We don't have that. I don't have a script. I'm sorry. I'm literally looking and going as I'm with you guys. USB thumb drive, at least 16 gigabytes. You want to download Windows on here, get the installation, that way you can just plug it in when everything's done. And don't forget some type of tool set. You're gonna need Phillips, you're gonna need some things, so make sure you have some tools going on. And that's pretty much what you're gonna need. Oh, and some alcohol. We got some 91% finally, no more 70% alcohol. And that's to clean off any thermal paste, and that's what you're going to need to move everything from here to there. So what we're gonna do now is get everything out of this computer, get it nice and situated over here, get this one opened up, see what we need, if we need any standoffs or anything like that, and start putting it into that computer. So hang on and enjoy the ride. Let's do this. And what we're going to do now is simply just take this machine right here, this I'm just messing with you guys. That's my son, Vincent. We call him Titi. This is the guy that the machine is for. Say hi, Vincent.
Hi.
So we're gonna use him as an extra set of hands, and this will be his kind of his first build. He's helped me before. So Vincent, are you ready? These Optiplexes have a lot of proprietary things. That's why I said make sure yours has a 20 or 24 pin power connection, because if not, you'll be stuck with the power supply it comes with. And majorities come 250 watts. Some of these, the newer ones, even come 80 plus certified bronze or even gold I've seen. So make sure that you find one that has a normal power adapter or power connection to the motherboard. Dell really doesn't want you doing what we are about to do. So they add some extra connections to these suckers just to make it harder. This connection right here, I'll zoom in for you. You see that little guy right there? Very important. Also this connection right here, very important. And this front header right here, very important. If you don't have this one right here, your computer won't work, and you'll get all these warning signs when you boot into the BIOS. So when you first start up the computer, it'll say warning, this isn't connection, that's not connected. You won't be able to use your front panel connections. Now you could go online and people have routed wires to jump from here to here, and wires jumping here to here and here to here. That way you could get around it. It's more of an advanced technique. Also on Amazon, I believe it's Amazon, don't quote me. Again, if I can find it, I'll put the link down in the description. There's a connection you can plug in, and you'll be able to use your front panel connections like your USB, your microphone, headphone jack, your power button, more importantly. That way you're not always trying to jump it. That thing, I believe, is like 15-20 bucks, but you need to know exactly which Optiplex motherboard you are using before you order it. If you have any questions about that connection, go to this channel right here. This is the guy who does all the Optiplex stuff. He's a cool guy. His videos are great. Go over there, tell him Joe sent you. And yeah, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go basic, probably a way and a lot of you guys are gonna go. We are going to try to keep all these wires and move them to the new build. I'm gonna have to take the front panel connection out, the power button, this connection right here, take it out and put it into the new case, and he'll just have to use this. No big deal. I mean, seriously, it's not gonna bother him at all. So no reason to order that part, no reason to jump wires. Just take it out, move it. If I gotta cut a little bit, glue it in there, he'll be fine. So yeah, with that out of the way, me and Vincent is about to take this stuff apart. Yeah, I already took the top off. I already cleaned the CPU off. Now it's just a matter of disconnecting the wires, and that's it. Just remember where everything's at. Get a camera and take some pictures. Take a picture here, a picture there. That way you see where all this stuff went. Don't forget, on your new power supply, you may have a 6-pin for your CPU. So let me just show you something real fast. I literally just plugged this in. It's just that 2 of them aren't in. So only 4 went in. And don't worry, it could only go in one way. See, just these 4 went in. These 2 are hanging off to the side. It won't go in the other way with the other 2. They're like not exactly square. They have a little shape to them, a little rounded in one area, square in another, so they can only go in one way. So don't worry about that. That's perfectly fine. Just remember, your power supply isn't pushing power to your system. Your system is pulling power from the power supply. Unscrew these, all 4 of them, and put them in the metal pan. You'd probably be doing something similar, taking the original cooler off. It's just going to be 4 screws, and the cooler's going to come off. All right, Titi. I want you to pull this, push that, see that button right there? Yeah. Push it in and pull straight up. All right, Vincent, see these right here? Yeah. So you're gonna wanna go around your motherboard and look for the screws. Don't lose them, because you might need them. Put them in the other case. So save them, never throw them away. All right, once all your screws are removed, all you do is lift the motherboard right out. Now, some of you might have a back I/O shield. If you do, just take out the motherboard first and then just literally pop it out. All right, Vincent, take it out. Place it to the side over there. Slowly. You don't want to scratch all the bottom. The reason you don't want to scratch it, there's little pretty lines going through your motherboard. They're really cool looking. Those are traces. That's how the CPU talks to the RAM talks to that, back and forth. You mess up one of the traces, you have a problem. So now it looks like your PC is gutted. You got your motherboard out and you're done, right? No. We still need to take the front panel off, where the power button is, the USB, the microphone headphone jack. We also need to find where this guy goes, because this is important too. So let's start digging in and taking things out. Okay, to take the front panel off, just pick up these clips. And the front panel will come off like that, and then you will have an empty front panel. We need to take this off. That's the power button right there. We'll figure that out too. We'll have to do our own little mod. We'll do our own little mod, but we'll figure it out. So to take this off, you have a screw over here. And these last wires, that belongs to the power supply. It's up to you what you want to do with the rest of this. Either keep gutting the case. You could take this out. See, just like that. And now you have a DVD readable, writable drive. Okay, to take out this other wire, the power button that I showed you guys on the motherboard, it is on the front of your panel. You can see it if you look at your front panel where it's at, and it's put around these weird little bars they put in there for like wire management, I guess. Just take all those off, make sure you have a lot of wire, and then the button itself is in a plastic little housing. Sorry about any of the audio. My wireless mic, the battery died and I didn't notice. All right, so yeah, that was just putting the standoffs. So just make sure you put your standoffs in the right places, because this board is really small. If you have a rear I/O, you need to put it on now before you screw the motherboard down. Take the motherboard out, snap in your rear I/O, not a big deal. Slide this in at a little bit of an angle. I don't have enough right now, so I'm just gonna put one in each corner, and that's good. It ain't gonna go nowhere. I'll find another screw later. So took the top off, found a good spot for his radiator up here. But what we're going to do now is just take all the fans out, because there's 5 fans. Clean them all, figure which ones we're gonna keep and which ones we're not. But let's get our fans out of this case and move forward. I'm sorry about the way the light's been looking. I did not know the iPhone 11 Pro Max had an exposure. I'm not a camera guy, so. Okay, so we got Sabrina doing that. She's gonna clean the fans off while we figure out what else we are doing. Let's get our RAM in. And they're 8 gigs in total. So yeah, DDR3, you see where the teeth are on this side? So it's gonna wanna make sure these are all open. And since only 2 sticks go in here, 8 gigs in this system, guys, is great. It's an older system for a kid who plays corny games. You know, not corny, you know, I'm not trying to
talk trash if anybody out there plays those games. To each their own. I'm a Soulsborne kind of person. So RAM's in. So I have like some heat spreaders, their covers that go on top, and they're RGB. So pretty cool. Let's check out our cables. Alright, so he gets some red wires. Pretty cool. And he's got these. So these will go to the graphics card. Pretty cool. Not better. Thank you.
Fans for G's, yeah.
Now that we have everything gutted out, fans cleaned, and put our motherboard in just kind of for like a test fit, we're probably gonna end up taking it out again. We get an idea of what needs to be done. The front of this case has a power button that's pretty big, and on the bottom, the hole that the original power button that comes off of all this is almost the same size of the power button on the Optiplex. So what I was able to do on the bottom where the hole is, I put a screw in there to extend the button so it actually will press down on the Optiplex button, and I'm able to just put it up in there with a little bit of filing around and maybe pop in a little screw with a washer to make sure it stays in place and doesn't pop out, or I could just hot glue it. Now on the front of my case, I was able to take this and fit it in this slot that holds the CD-ROM. We're not gonna be using the front header wires, so we're gonna tape those up, move them out of the way, stuff them somewhere, get rid of them. So at this point, we're ready for our power supply. It's not fully module, it's not halfway module, it's not semi, whatever. It's reasonably priced, it's 80 plus, it's not bronze or anything like that, and it got us what we need, power. And it's EVGA. Again guys, check the links down below for everything you see here because it does help the channel. We do get a small commission if you use it. I know I keep saying that, but I guess we're obligated to, but at the same time, I tell you anyways, it doesn't matter. Check that out. It's perfect, it's tiny, another small item for a big case, but it's brand new. And again, your power supply, your hard drives, these are things that will follow you to your next build, probably even your graphics card if you got a good graphics card. So these things, buy brand new. This was yet again 70 bucks. Again, it'll be right here. I do have a full build video on here. If it's your first build, go check it out. Remember, if you're using your own screws like I am, make sure they're very small, like they don't have a very large length on them, because you don't want them going all the way back and actually touching the PCB or a transistor or something on the motherboard. Let's get our AIO on, right? And don't forget with AIOs that you put it the right way. You make sure you see the logo somehow, some way underneath here. I do have a video on installing the NZXT Kraken M22 if you're interested in knowing how to install it. I'm pushing up on the back plate as I put these on to make sure the back plate's flush with the board. When you get it on there, just give it a little one of these, you know what I mean? Like a little jiggle wiggle on top. You want to go in a zigzag or just opposite sides, you know, top left. Now let's put one on the bottom right. Pretty cool. It mounts to this old Dell. Mounting your radiator or whatever, figure if you're gonna go to the back, how you'd want it. If you want to go here, don't forget you'll have a graphics card, so you could put it here to help exhaust. You could take it to the top to help it exhaust. Don't forget your fan where it's placed. So basically it's gonna be pulling air through this way. So if I went like this, it's gonna be pulling air this way. So we're gonna have to take off our fan and turn it around. So we went with the top, and this will work perfectly fine. And again, this is not really too much of a how-to, but it is at the same time. I know it's a little confusing, but if you're planning to move the Optiplex, there's things you need to know. They're too proprietary. You need to know if it has a 20 pin or 24 pin, or if it's a 8 pin or a 1 pin. I don't know. Optiplexes are odd. Dell does not want you doing things like this. So far, we got our cooler installed, our radiators installed. We got to make sure our wires are running where they need to run. The cool thing about this one is the wires are pretty long, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Oh, and don't worry about the pump. The pump will just run full blast.
that was the radiator. So we hooked up the radiator, well, the pump that's connected to the radiator, to the CPU connection. And this was the fan that goes on the radiator, connected straight to the motherboard. Let's get a screw in here to hold our graphics card. Well, this is a metal plate here, so it should be okay. The hoses should be fine. This thing shouldn't get too hot, really and truly. I think this is like, I forgot which graphics card this is. Let's do some cable management. Oh, and a quick little trick. If you know you got to do like a turn, do this. Just don't like squeeze them together, but just like massage them. And what you're doing basically is giving it memory. They're pretty thick wires. EVGA, even their reasonably priced power supplies are pretty thick wire gauge. So you should be able to make it do what you want. Wish we had the grommets, but we don't. Done. Our CPU is way over there, so that's gonna be fun. So I'm just gonna cable manage, connect everything, and then I'll be back as soon as all that's done. And props to the guys out there who do these videos solo and are able to do all this while on camera. Major thumbs up, guys. Seriously, you guys are rock stars. All right, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm gonna turn the screen like this so we can all see it. What I'm gonna be doing is just testing it out, making sure everything powers on. It doesn't have like a big glass side panel, it just has one little piece. So you'll be able to see the NZXT Infinity logo, you'll see the graphics card. You shouldn't be able to see the rat's nest, things like that, because it's an older case, so it's not a full glass tempered side panel. But all in all, I think it's cool. All right, here we go. Power. Is that orange light on? Yes. Might not like that RAM. All right. I'll get this sorted and I'll be right back. Okay, I took out one of the RAM modules and it's on. I forgot to plug in the USB for the Infinity logo, but here we go. We're up and started. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I like these BIOSes. All right, I'm gonna get this going. Now that we know it's booted up, we'll try some other RAM sticks and I'll have it together, nice and pretty, done, finished with the graphics card's gonna be in it. And this is just to show you guys, here it is, it's on. You know, we're in the BIOS, no big deal. And that's it, so be back in 2 seconds.